Howdy, and here we are at Yates American B244. I'm anxious for final assembly of the motor, but there are some things to clean up first. Most notably the knife Gibs, but also the motor alignment pins, motor draw bolts, a little paint cleanup, the chip breaker pressure bar rings, and the stator. It'll probably be easier to clean up the heads of all these fasteners while they're still stuck in the Gib. Everyone should have some 8-point sockets. I thought I'd try a homemade rust removal solution. So this is a solution from a guy on YouTube that claims it's better than Evaporust. So this is 1 liter of water, and then it's 100 grams by weight of citric acid, and then 40 grams by weight of washing soda, Arm & Hammer washing soda. So let's see how it works. Okay, these Gibs screws have been in here for about 24 hours, which is a lot longer than I intended to keep them, but I've just been busy. Let's see how they look after they wash up a little bit. I took these outside in a colander and sprayed them down with some high pressure water just from a hose. And they look really good, but there's a lot of variation in the results. Some cleaned up really nicely and others look like they didn't really clean up very nicely. Maybe the way they were piled in there, these big bolts came out real nice. Well, these knife Gibs cleaned up really nicely just with the strip disc. I'm going to go ahead and put them in a bath for a little while of the homemade rust remover. There's some rust still inside the holes here. Okay, so the homemade mixture for rust removal did get the rust out of the holes. This is one of the motor mount alignment pins. I'd like to avoid buying new ones if I can. I think the Evaporust does do a little better job than the homegrown formula, but the homegrown formula sure is cheaper. Well, now that I'm going to assemble the cutter head and motor for real, I need to do a little more cleaning up on them. So these slots where the knives go are still kind of rusty, just kind of gunky. So I've taken some 3M Roll-Lock discs and I've peeled the mount off of the normal side, and I've epoxied it to the coarse side of the disc so that I can get down in here with it. See, I can't get down in there conventionally if the rough side was on this side. I have to do it in reverse this way. So here is a knife mount surface that is untouched, and here's the one that I just did. So not perfect, but it's definitely cleaned up a lot better. While I'm at it, I'll go ahead and do this mating surface for the knife Gibs. A lot of rust built up in these knife height adjustment screws. There's still a lot of gunk and rust in these counter bores for the knife height adjust screws. I found I can take an old router bit and I can very carefully clean out the bottoms of those and kind of scrape the walls of the counter bore and get it cleaned up a little bit more. And then finally go over it with a wire brush. This is one of the rings for the chip breaker or pressure bar. And once again, I'm baffled by how people think they need to use hammers to work on machines. They shouldn't work on machines. The original oilers on these chip breaker and pressure bar rings were pretty much shot, so I pressed them out. And I got some new ones. The new ones, unfortunately, are metric, so I'm going to re-drill the counter bore and the press fit hole for the new oilers. This first counter bore hole is 10 millimeter. This press fit portion is 8 millimeters, but the closest I've got is 5/16. So I'm going to drill it 5/16 and then file it to where it fits.